Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we are looking at our Kuat Transfer V2 bike rack here on our 2021 Chrysler Voyager. Now this is a really good bike rack if you are looking for something that can fit into an 1.25" or 2" hitches, but also has a very easy way of mounting and dismounting your bikes. So one of its features is that it can tilt away, and to do so you're going to want to come over here, either step on it or just press down with your hand on that lever, and this will tilt your bike rack away. You'll want to do this if you want to access your hatch. Now here on our Voyager, I did notice that it didn't make it all the way, and it does come in contact with your handlebars. So that's something you're going to have to think about, that it's not the perfect fit, but if you have this on other vehicles, you'll still be able to tilt it away, or you can just take your bike off, which is okay because it's super fast and quick and easy to do that. Let's take a look at that process. So it's held in by 2 points. The first is this rear wheel strap. So when you want to take that out, you just press this lever and pull up on that strap, then leave it over to the side so that's out of the way. Here in the front, hold on to your bike as you do so. Press this button right there. Now at first it may be a tight fit, and then bring that hook up and then push it out. And from there, you can go on a bike ride. Let's set this bike over here. That way we can take a closer look at the bike rack itself. So you see how quick and easy that was to take the bike off. Here we have the rear wheel cradle. Now your cradles can accommodate tire widths of up to 5 inches if you get the extra strap adapter, but in its base version, without the adapter, you can fit up to 3 inches wide. And this has a ratcheting strap that just straps down to secure your rear wheel. Now here in the front, we have this large front wheel cradle. This can also be adjusted slightly for your longer wheel bases. And you also have this front wheel clamp. So let's bring that up. And this clamps down onto your front wheel, which is great, especially if you have alternate frame bikes. I had a carbon frame bike just now, but if you have like a step-through bike, a women's bike, a children's bike, this design is great because then you don't need a frame adapter bar to mount to your bikes, kind of like what other bike racks require. All right, let's fold this in to make it nice and compact. This has a weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike. If you want a little bit extra weight capacity, Kuat Transfer also has a 2-bike version with a 2-inch solid shank that has a capacity of 60 pounds. But if you're just carrying around normal bikes, this will work great for you. Let's take some measurements. So here on our Voyager, we'll measure from our rear bumper all the way to the end of the bike rack right there, and it sits at 34 inches. That's a fair amount of length for a 2 bike rack. Still something to keep in mind when you're trying to back into your garage or park in a really tight spot. Let's also take a look at ground clearance. So measuring from the bottom of the bike rack, it sits at 15 inches, and measuring from over by the shank, it sits at 10.5 inches. So if you are worried about ground clearance, it does give you a little bit of an extra rise for your bikes. That's something to think about when you're going up a steep incline like a driveway or a hill. You can also cut down on that length added by pressing on that lever and then just pulling this bike rack up to a folded position. So here, let's take a quick look at the way it sits. We have our backup camera. Since it has a U-shaped design, you're less likely to obstruct your view from that camera. Your tail lights are open, as well as your license plate, which is great because that keeps you safe on the road. Let's take a look at some measurements. Measuring from our rear bumper to the closest point, which would be by this wheel mount, it is about 5 3/4 inches. Plenty of space between there, so you don't have to worry about clearance issues or contact between your vehicle and your bike rack. As for length added now, we have it from the bumper, and the furthest point is now this foot lever, and that's at 12 inches away from the back of your vehicle. A lot shorter from when it was folded down. You definitely want it in this position when you are driving around town and you are worried about length added. Let's talk about the way this fits into our hitch. So this has a 1.25 inch shank with a 2-inch adapter, since we have a 2-inch hitch on our vehicle. It comes with a hitch pin and a clip. You can pick up a lock if you want to secure that, and it does have a security wrench to activate the anti-rattle. So you use that wrench to tighten it down right there, and this will extend the ball cam that is inside the shank, creating an anti-rattle effect. So then as I would shake the bike rack to simulate that road sway and the vibration and rattle, you can see how it's mainly moving the hitch at this point, which also means that your bikes are going to have a smoother ride. All right, so final thoughts about this bike rack. I really am a huge fan of that goalpost design for the Transfer. Yes, this version has a bit of a lower weight capacity compared to the 2-inch solid version, but 40 pounds is still nothing to, is still pretty good weight capacity. I also like how it's very minimalistic, and with our Voyager here, you don't have to worry about covering anything in the back. It's all open and you have a lot more clearance there to work with. Yes, it didn't tilt away far enough, so that's just something to think about. But all in all, it's a really good bike rack, and that was a look at the Kuat Transfer V2 bike rack here on our 2021 Chrysler Voyager.